Hi, this is Gaurav Jain from REITspro.com and welcoming you all to another episode on REITs for in-depth coverage on various aspects of REITs and InvITs. Do keep associated and subscribe to our channel. So today I'd like to first outline some of the firsts of REITs that we have to our credit. The first being a book which is dedicated to REITs and InvITs and you could buy this at Amazon, or you could visit the publisher White Falcon Publishing website and buy it. Secondly, you could visit our website which is totally dedicated to REIT and InvIT investing. And thirdly, you could also join a growing community of REIT and InvIT investors. For that, there's a description link below which you can click on and join. So today's topic is REIT and InvIT index. A lot of people have questioned whether there is a REIT and InvIT index. Yes, there is a REIT and InvIT index and it has been recently launched. So we'll talk about these questions here. Is there a REIT index in India? What is the composition? What are the challenges we face today on REIT index? And how I can invest in the index? Can I use an ETF or mutual fund? And should I actually use the index or not? For investing purposes. So, is there a REIT index? Yes, April 2023 was when an index was launched which covers both REITs and InvITs. And there are 6 constituents of the index which constitute 3 REITs and 3 InvITs. It's based on free float market capitalization and the base value is 1000. And REITs are as yet not a part of Nifty index or BSE Sensex yet. However, there is a separate REIT index just like you have the bank index or you have the pharma index. So you have the REIT index also today, which has a very small set of constituents today because there are very limited number of REITs and InvITs there. And the details and composition are as follows, which is Embassy Office Park REITs, which is the REIT. Then Power Grid Infrastructure Investment Limited is an InvIT. This is a REIT and so on. So these are the weightages assigned in the index, which would obviously be rebalanced over a period of time as the index demands. So how does a general investor use an index for stocks? So the first thing that any investor does is assesses the direction of that particular sector if it's a sectoral index. And the second way is to build a portfolio. So you could invest in a sector and build your portfolio. That's the 2 primary uses for any index, right? So the first part of assessing the direction has 3 challenges. So first challenge is that today the index has a combination of REITs and InvITs. The first challenge here is that the movement and stability are very different. InvITs are in fact infrastructure assets and commercial real estate is represented by REITs. So these are 2 very different, let's say they're actually 2 different sectors in the same sector, let's put it that way. So assessing direction could be a challenge in this case. The second challenge today is what is the impact of market float, because there's a very small number of constituents, and if you see here, Embassy has the highest weight. And if you go into why this has happened, is also because of the fact that the promoter stake is very different in all these. So if you see, the sponsor ownership is 31% in REITs and in this Embassy REIT, whereas in case of Mindspace it is 63%. So the constituents themselves will be the market float versus the free float is what the crucial thing here is. So the free float determines what the weight of that particular stock would be in the REIT and InvIT index. And the third challenge is how speedy would the new inclusions be. So the 19th of May there was a Nexus Select Trust. So that should be included in the index as fast as possible, and we'll need to see how that happens. The second generally accepted use of an index is to build a portfolio. So an investor can look at the index and say, okay, I would like to buy say a Nifty Bs, or I'd like to bank Bs or something. So that's one use of index investing, or you could buy mutual funds on that of the index, or you could buy individual stocks. So similarly, even in REITs, you can go any of these 3 ways, but the these two is what is not there. So you have individual stocks today. So you can buy individual stocks of the BSE and NSE, and these are the tickers of both MBSE, Mindspace, and BuyREIT. And you can buy it in the proportions that are represented in the index, and you can build your own portfolio. Similarly, you can include stocks or InvIT stocks, which are these, and build the portfolio in the same proportion if you wish really to replicate the index. But the question is, should you do it? That's one thing that is a gray area right now, and would not, in my opinion, building a portfolio with such a small sample size and investing in that index in this way probably will not make sense. Now, the ETF, so is there something like the Nifty ETF? No, there is none. So today we don't have an ETF based on REITs. So that's the second part. Now the third part is that mutual funds. If you gain exposure through mutual funds, is that possible? Yes, there are mutual funds. Even in say for Nifty investing, there are mutual funds. But mutual funds as such as don't have we don't have a dedicated mutual fund replicating the index today. Mutual funds are allowed, and they are slowly increasing their exposure to REITs and InvITs. That's a fact. So if you see, there has been latest communication by PPFAS where they are talking about the REITs and InvITs being instruments that they are considering very actively. Now similarly, MF holdings have been on the rise over a period of time, as you can see on the screenshot. So yes, mutual fund holdings are rising. However, there are also FOFs. Now you would say that there are funds of funds, REIT fund of funds, Kotak. But if you see the Kotak REIT of fund of funds, that's investing in overseas mutual funds. So today we have a space there where there are no mutual funds dedicated to index of REITs, because obviously it's very new. So in conclusion, the REIT index will take time to give meaningful interpretations. That's the first part. Inclusion of index. In index, yes, industry has been demanding that REITs and InvITs be included in the index, and 2021 there was news. However, we would probably need to wait for some time and then also see the accuracy and correlation of the index and the REITs and InvITs. And the third part is directly or through mutual funds you can invest, but today mutual funds are having small allocations currently. Open-end mutual funds and ETFs today are not present currently. So if you like the video, do like and subscribe. You can connect to us like I've already explained in the group, or you can also message us one-to-one on these two apps, and you can visit the site and you can get the links for that. And thank you so much. You mail us here or connect with us. Thank you so much. We look forward to hearing from you. Do write in the comment section if you feel that you need to communicate anything. Thank you.